In this week's Parsha Toldot, Isaac, not this Isaac, Isaac lies on his deathbed, no longer able to see. He calls out to his eldest boy Esau, saying, "My son?" Esau immediately responds, "Hineinu, here I am." A Hebrew word Abraham announced before Esau, like Jacob, Moses, Samuel, and the prophets would say after him. Hineinu expresses something more than just our presence. It is as if to say, I am here for you, available to do what you need from me. Rabbi Nina Beth Carden further elucidates, Hineinu is an unequivocal commitment, promising I am here, all of me, with all that I am and all that I can be, indicating a readiness to receive and respond to whatever experience is about to unfold. When we heard about the attacks of October 7th, none of us could have envisioned what exactly would come next. We did know, however, that our Israeli family needed our help, and we needed to heed their call. Over the past month, I have been so proud and grateful that our WRT community has eagerly embraced the spirit of Hineinu. We've raised money, donated resources, and gathered for vigils and commemorations. And on Tuesday, a delegation of more than 80 members of our community, some of whom I see in the congregation tonight, joined around 300,000, not tens of thousands, 300,000 Jews and some of our allies, alongside representatives of the United States government, to attend the historic March for Israel, a day I will never forget. As Israel's President Herzog said, zooming in from a screen in Jerusalem, Americans came forward and illustrated our willingness to say, and more importantly, to show, Hineinu. The rally's objective with regard to Israel was twofold. Those of us present pledged to demand from the world the safe return of Israeli hostages, and more generally, to show the Israeli people that we are with them. During the march, 4 family members of hostages spoke before the crowd. Each of their testimonies about the absence of their loved one, or in some cases, loved ones, plural, sent chills down the spines of every witness to their stories. Rachel Goldberg, mother of Hirsch Goldberg, growing rightfully angrier with each passing day she does not hear from her son, wears a piece of tape across her heart to mark the number of days that have gone by since Hirsch was taken. She begged us to ask ourselves, why is the world accepting that over 200 people from over 30 countries have been stolen and buried alive? What will we say to the hostages if and when we reunite with them? Alana Zaychik of Yemenite Jewish roots spoke about her 6 family members who are currently captive in Gaza, the youngest being only 3 years old. The last text her family received from her aunt, who with her husband and children were forced out of their bomb shelter after Hamas terrorists lit their house on fire. We are not going to make it out of this. We love you. Actress Deborah Messing responded directly when she said, "We in America have your back. We ache with you and stand with you and won't rest until you get all the assistance you need." American lawyer and CNN political contributor Van Jones articulated a truth that I hope pierces the hearts of those so misguided by political theory, they ultimately dehumanize the other and lose their capacity for compassion. He stated, "Whatever your political views may be, You do not have to support all of the policies in government to stand with the people of Israel during a time of profound mourning. In the same way that one can be Jewish, support Israel, and still mourn the loss of innocent Palestinian life. Soviet refusenik, Israeli politician, and human rights activist Natan Sharansky explained the grueling past month. Day after day, he exclaimed, we Israelis go from one funeral to another. How do we do this, you ask? By being together. And he included American Jews as part of this unity. Seeing the mass of people, knowing the rally's scale, he affirmed, will galvanize hope for Israelis. In other words, you in America, your actions do have an impact on us. American actress and singer Tova Feldshuh painted a beautiful picture. We stand here as yahrzeit candles, she proclaimed. Together, we are one supernova of light and hope. One of the signs held high above the crowd read, B'yachad nenatzeach. Together, we will succeed. I want each of us to remember this feeling. The feeling of being connected to our Israeli family, perhaps more than ever before, and we needed this connection. Many of you have come to me confused, stressed, feeling unworthy of having such overwhelming grief over a country to which you may have no direct familial connection, no friends living there. I want to reiterate for everyone here, everyone watching on the live stream, your anguish is well-founded. Not only because Israel is the spiritual core and the heart center of the Jewish people, but also because the October 7th attacks have had a ripple effect, reawakening the cancer of anti-Semitism around the globe, and especially here in America. The FBI recently reported a 400% increase in anti-Semitic behavior just over the past month. Anti-Semitism has reared its ugly head through protests on college campuses, hateful graffiti on the facades of our buildings, including my rabbinical school, our clergy program, references to ancient anti-Semitic tropes like ridding the world of dirty Jews, and at its worst, advocating for our murder. This hatred comes from all sides, extremists from both ends of the political spectrum. Our children are scared, and we are scared. A young female Iranian Jew whose parents immigrated as refugees to America after they were forced to flee Iran disclosed at the march, "That I am standing here before you all is beyond my parents' wildest dreams, and a manifestation of their greatest nightmare, that Jews could be butchered and the world watches in silence." Minority Leader of the House of Representatives, Hakeem Jeffries, underscored her plight. He stressed what many of us Jews have been for a long time now trying to convey. The moral case for Israel, and there are many cases for Israel, but a moral one, is anchored in the painful history of the Jewish people. Jews have been violently expelled, he said, from country after country, the Roman Empire, Alexandria, France, Spain, Italy, Russia, Germany, Switzerland, Iran, Yemen, Morocco, the list goes on. The young woman of Iranian Jewish descent spoke not just of Israel, but also of America. "We no longer have to make the choiceless choice," she said. "We will not retreat or flee. We can fight with our voices, our votes, and our feet. We know the future of our country and our Jewish people are inextricably intertwined." Though we in America look to Israel as a wellspring of Jewish life, we in the diaspora also should know that America has been home to the Jewish people, a safe haven for many decades. On Tuesday, our elected officials spoke up not just for Israel, but also for their Jewish American constituents to demonstrate that it is the responsibility of all, every American citizen, to say Hineinu. Yes, it is incumbent upon us, Jews, to demonstrate Klal Yisrael, to care for one another as Jews. But our safety is also the responsibility of our allies, our neighbors, our fellow countrymen and women. As Jews, we have a duty to take care of one another, to write our representatives to thank them and continue to ask them for support, to write our colleges and universities and demand they act so that our children and our friends are safe on campus. Do not let, for example, the severe lack of news coverage of this march negate our existence, our power, and our unity. I believe it is also up to us to celebrate pride in our Jewish identities, to hold in our hearts the words of the morning blessings called Nisim B'chol Yom, which means everyday miracles, inviting us to chant, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asani Yisrael. Blessed are you, our God, ruler of the universe, who made me a Jew, because it is a blessing to be Jewish. Some of us feel comfortable displaying that pride publicly, as was the case for Tova Feldshuh, who said tongue-in-cheek, my English name is Tova, my Hebrew name is Tova, and my Starbucks name is Tova. She refuses to secularize or seclude her identity. Let us be comforted by Deborah Messing, who reminded us that we are not alone because we have each other. WRT professionals felt this earlier today when the bagel company, Michael Stern Bagel Cafe, who supplied our breakfast on Tuesday before the march, emailed us saying, quote, I did not charge you for the bagels on Tuesday for your trip to DC. I love that WRT had 2 buses going. We have to all stay together during these tough times, end quote. It is, however, a heavy weight to carry to believe that the only people showing up for us is us. And so I want to affirm for you tonight, to restore your hope in humanity, that though it seems we are alone, there are people out there who want to stand by us, who are screaming, Hineinu. At the rally, there was a bipartisan representation in support of Jews across the world, those who believed and who named with clarity, anti-Semitism is an affront to the integrity of our American laws. It is a gateway to prejudice, racism, and injustice of every form. It is a danger to our democracy, and our American government will work to fight it full stop. And just yesterday, I attended the AJC American Jewish Committee Diversity Breakfast, which has for the past 22 years brought together people of different cultures, colors, ethnicities, genders, and faith backgrounds. And I will not lie to you, this year was different from previous years. There are plenty of people who didn't come, who didn't support. But there were over 400 people who showed up, including a Muslim professor of Islamic and Holocaust studies, Dr. Menhaz Afridi, who actually taught here at WRT many years ago, and who said word for word, I am here for you, for the Israeli people. In the Torah's language, Hineinu. Politicians like Senator Andrea Stewart Cousins, Westchester's County Executive George Latimer, County Legislator Vedat Gashi, United States Representative Mike Lawler, members of Governor Kathy Hochul's team, and New York Attorney General Letitia James's team, and our very own District Attorney Mimi Rocha, just to name a few, all of whom came offering their unwavering support. Religious leaders appeared in droves, including WRT's colleague and friend, Reverend Stephen Pogue. And we gathered around tables, devoted to building bridges, asked to join in the spirit of love, pluralism, inclusiveness, and peace. So, marching forward, let us continue rejoicing in our lives, in our Jewish identities, with more than just being present. Like our ancestors before us, let our mantra be Hineinu, ready to respond for our Israeli family, for our fellow Jews, and open to those eager to respond on our behalf. With all our hearts and all our souls, Hineinu, we are here. Shabbat Shalom.